I got about 10 minutes before the top of the hour, an hour and 10 minutes till Yellen speak, and they're pushing it down one more time to try to get down into this. I guess if you go to the 15, you can find a support in there. Right, here's the doji. So here's a 15-minute rollover happening right now. So I'm buying into this retest, looking for the next stairway to be up here. If it doesn't hold on this up, I'm going to build it off of this these two guys here. So I'm going to treat this as the pitchfork right here, and then I'm just going to copy over one equal amount. So we could keep falling through the floor here. So I loaded up pretty heavy on this demo. Now I'm trying not to load any of these types of orders, because that's how I blew up the other demo, is running too many of these orders. Let's not blown up. It's about $700 left in it. So this one I'm going to try to stick to these single drops and buys and sells. So if I would have done that today, I would have had a situation where on this double bottom on the 15, I could have put in, when this double bottom became the top there, I could have a sell stop below this 15, plus I could have sell limits here. So every time you bob up into this area, you're selling. And this is 20 pips between these two, right? So if you're building 20 pip risk orders, right, if everything you risk is, say, 20 pips, and so if you would have bought this, what's going on right here, and your stop is just, here, 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 but you're really putting in just, you want to get the right, ideally, which these aren't really written like that, unfortunately. I should have wrote these so that, see, this order here is like a linear order, or really should get in, like that's just a linear capture. Now, you really can't put too many of these orders in. So those are orders you have to walk away. We could take us all the way down to here. But I'm just buying right here because I think this is, we're starting a 15-minute stairway here. If not, at least I've got this current walk down channel. So if you figure that you're going to walk down into, you're always walking down one channel into another channel. There's the 15 view. Here is the daily. Daily's coming up into this attempt to, maybe when Yellen comes out, they could take it down another 40 pips here. So this is kind of hard to see, but I guess I got to beef this up. This whole thing with the now this one I'm running stops actually to let this thing fill as it goes up. Just if it goes screaming north and it gets there in time, I'll be getting in on the top of this 1 hour bar. So this 1 hour bar is about 22 pips. So if you can wait for a retest of possibly right here, put an order there, but put a ton of orders below, because what we've already seen is this the floor dropped out here, and there wasn't even a chance to really hardly get short that thing unless you could just say, here's your first channel that you can project these lower high projected off the lowest close in there, or about here, right? It's almost the lowest close. Okay, a perfect triple bottom there. So we've been tumbling down the stairway. I think it's just like a slow bid down, right? But on the 1 hour, you got this perfect, if you were right there to nail it on the hour, right? You were just, you only had a 20 pip stop on that. You never got stopped out. You figure your stop. If you pulled the trigger here, or if you had a sell limit here and you had a stop up here, you just never, right? You're already taking something off the table on a 5 scalp. If this was a sell limit, because after it plunged, you missed out and you got in on the backlash. Here, same story. You had your order sitting down in here. Okay. This is why I have to use a yellow here. If you had your sell stops there, you certainly made money on this plunge, right? And maybe you were just looking to make 20 pips, so you hit your target, right? You had break even, say, and so you got in here and you made at least 20 pips. So I've written a lot of handwritten. I'm trying to get a scanning bed so I can scan in my stuff I wrote out by hand, and it was just basically trying to envision an order bank that covered a certain amount. Now you'd have to really know where you're at in the picture of this stuff, because like you got to have a 100 pip grid, and that's got to key up to a keyboard. Otherwise, if you just throw these in willy-nilly, you're just going to get clobbered. You've got to assume some type of market depth here. So if you're going to put in orders that are, not that we make it there today, but if you can imagine, here's the current down channel. Here's the trend. This channel was taken out here. This is like the middle of the pitchfork, this top one, right? So if you do a pitchfork, but do it off of close, right? Because you get this beautiful double top. Here's the head and shoulders, right? I can't tell you how many people just get it wrong. They just can't figure out the market's actually got a rhythm. But no offense, right? You can still do it off the highs and lows, but it's just going to throw your timing off, that's all. So right now we're in a buy zone. I wish it was going to go up, kind of, but it's not like you couldn't have made 40 pips today off of this damn thing. So if you had a sell limit on the daily right here, you were just a genius, right? Double bottom, smacks up in there. Even after it crushes down in, you could buy down here, but this is the turnaround, so you could milk it both ways. You make 20 pips up, 20 pips down, you made 40 pips, right? But I think the hard part is to be able to change your mind on a dime and say, I'm going to go from a buyer to a seller. Because most people have looked at another time frame, and now they come into the market with an idea of, oh, I'm only going to trade it from this side. Not that I would trade it really heavy from this side, because to me this is like a walk down. So this is like an accumulation for a swing trade for me. Now if it keeps tanking, they're going to keep stopping me out, which is never fun. So I don't like the feeling of being stopped out, and I'm running tight stops, so it's really even worse, because then I'm like not even in the market. But I like to be in for the scalps at least, because I can make 20 pips maybe off the 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart maybe, right? So if you want to be in the market for 15 minutes, say that's all you can handle, your trades are going to look like this. Like you got a buy limit sitting down here for a scalp, and here for the retest. And you would just build all your stairways like this, and you're looking for this trend line to break, but you want to be in before it breaks because you want to take something off. So if you figure you're buying this thing here, yeah, maybe buy a little bit here, but I think it's still going to tank one more time. I think it could plunge one more time. But the argument for that, this is the trend line to break, and that's, you could put a tighter one in here. But this is going to get quiet at some point, and if we don't keep going lower, I mean, it sounds stupid, if we don't go lower, we're going to go higher, but I guess it's just how you're getting in there now. I got some stops up here, which I usually don't trade them, but today I'm going to let it go because I'm just too lazy today. I'm absolutely exhausted from, okay, people are driving their cars out there. I kind of got a motorcycle today. You want to pass me, right? There's construction in front of me. Are you kidding me? Like, and then you'd ask that same guy if he would trade the market. He's like, that's too risky. Man, I let him go. You know, I wasn't winning my Porsche and I couldn't keep up, right? So this is the 15-minute stairway is kind of completing into this. Yellen's going to speak. I don't testify. Who cares? Whatever. But look at this crazy. Here was the entry on the 15 minutes. So if you were quick on the draw, if you were a quick straw McGraw, you were like this today. On the 15, if you missed this sell up here, and you missed putting a sell stop in there, and the sell stop there would have made you'd have to write these scripts so that, let's see, you'd have to have a script that sells on a stop, puts in a 20 pip stop, and it's going to make 20 pips. But actually it came back to where you got in, so it wasn't that fun. If it had a 5 pip stop on that, then you would have been able to make some money, right? Because you would have captured this initial smack down, you're out. 5 pips, 5 pip stop, break even, right? Or maybe tighter. I don't know if that thing came back up in here. I can't see inside that 15-minute, but I'm assuming that the 15-minute rhythm was bam bam, and now this is the big contention. Was supposed to hold. This doji here is supposed to hold in here now. So if we speculate, what would this market do? And give it like this. Okay, you know, maybe it goes like this, right? It's a big zigzag drama down. Now, what's possibly going to happen here is it's going to at some point break out of that puppy. And it just typically does a, you know, you can just kind of, you can do many speculations on the way out of here, right? So you can write this stuff out on paper. We've seen all these kind of moves, right? So there's multiple. Actually, I had an indicator once that would actually project out in space. It was crazy. If you change this one number, it'll give you a whole different projection. But they're definitely not going to go back here, right? We can't. It's not going to come here. So we're either going to come just slow drip down this stairway. So you have to kind of speculate a little bit. So here, if I just stop right at this moment, and so now we're here, and you know, anything could happen. These are all the possible places it could go. Right? It could stay in this channel perfectly, right? That could happen. But what's probably going to happen? I don't know. I think maybe it's either going to be one more down to here, and then it's going to bust out, or it could just be like right around here. So I can't draw the timestamps in there at the same time. I have to put those out. So, but let's speculate the rhythm here. It's going to be like this. So as long as these aren't stacked right on top of each other, you know, you can kind of count on them. Here they are stacked up, though. We got a triangle of some sorts here, or a flag or something, or I guess you'd call it a flag right here. So we're getting this because we have, if this thing closes up in the next 15 minutes, it's going to create a zigzag. So the zigzag is just a flag. It's just a doji, all the same, just indecision. And then so here's the same one here. So that's half hour apart. And so the next time stamp, we're going to speculate on that. So that's going to be the big. We're going to put it right here where this meets, right? Where this low meets this channel, right? It's fair enough, right? So we'll speculate here to this. So we could walk down in here, and if that's the case, then this trend line is going to be like. Now we could also attach this to that point. So we're giving this thing a limitation entry. I'm going to buy at the market, though. Just one little position here. Try not to blow this thing up. Okay, so we walk down this 15-minute. Maybe we keep walking. So 15-minute chart trading is probably, if you're willing to, you know, turn into a girl right on the spot and change your mind, you know. That's the thing, you know. Girls should be change their mind. You know, great traders. It's like, yeah, this ain't working out. So guys, like, no, you just haven't spent enough time. But look at this cluster here of the top bottom of the 15. Now that's going to be very much resistance on the way back up. So I think we maybe walk up this guy here. We're outside of this channel, but I guess if you wanted to just use this as your angle, I guess try to get it 45 degrees to the down channel. Drag that over. That's probably a better reference for that. Okay, so gotta get this thing somewhere to go. And currently that's the story. Like that. And crawl back up into these. Everybody's going to want to bail if we go up 10 pips up into the, but in the most simple blockhead terms, it's really this. This is the big role reversal, right? That's the Bruce Jenner moment there. And then, I don't know, I guess this trend line's got to hold. Be like a stairway envelope. Maybe that's a little less cluttered. Yeah, so it's another crazy antics of the Forex market. We just broke this trend line and close, right? I guess I'm just creating a wedge there so that but in the simplest terms, always, it's just this, right? It's always just a trend line's just asking to be broken until it breaks. It's just the amazing trend line from Wonderville. Like, if you can get this first line going, you have a triple, you got a lot of chances. Here's the first attempt to break out and get back on the, oh boy, that's been a real amazing momentum craziness today. So yeah, I don't know, maybe the end of the week things are roaring up. Of course, this looks like we might have to just make a doji down here tomorrow or something. But yeah, can the euro walk down this daily stairway? I wonder. It'd be like the pitchfork view coming right through the middle here, and then drag it back to see. It's back tested here, all right? But yeah, that's the only way to go. Having this grid, angular grid, and a horizontal grid. So the market really it likes this price here, and it likes the zigzag in that window. And this was the big zigzag window up here. Was the this bottom became the top, and so here comes the news is coming out pretty soon, and looks like we're going to keep going down this stairway on the 15. But at this point, I'd be putting the buy stops above, up in here, like this, because it's quiet. It's been under half hour of less than, like, you can still got in here, right? Because this is a quiet, didn't have a lot of pips to it. This is the inverted hammer on the half hour. So that matches that perfectly. All right, this will be the moment of truth right here. We're either going to spike down another 40 pips and see if we can hit this target for the bear target is going to be hanging off of this thing. That's the really big point of ricochet for if we can drop at a rate of say find this. I guess this is the only channel you can really, if you're projecting off of that, this is your, comes up in, find the lowest close, it puts you about here by there, and you break out this timestamp and you can put in the time here so you don't have to worry about like I said, that's a swing high. This could be the possible swing low right now, but this could also be it here. So it could spill down into, if you can envision this thing coming down into here by then. So I guess it's like, what is the next 8 hours? What's possible? And when it gets quiet, like these quiet bars up here, this is less than 10 pips. You could have a scalp order, or you could just have a trailing, right? If you're only trying to make 5-10 pips, you know, this guy posted a thing about you can't build a robot. I think if you built a robot that was keyed to the volatility, but I guess a robot would have to be able to see a top becoming a bottom. You know, that would be the one thing. I don't know if the robot could pull that off. In other words, the market's quiet right here, very quiet, and you got this subtle bottom with the top with the bit, like it's this kind of also here. I don't know if the robot could see this bottom and say, yeah, I'm going to put an order there. Of course you are. So you kind of have to, the best way to trade it is not the way I've been doing it on these demos, just because I'm testing out the demo. I don't really expect to that it's real money, you know. So a lot of these things I'm doing are so outlandish, but like for right now I'm trying not to launch these orders in this demo, but if I did, you know, I'd say if you're going to do it, you're going to get in super deep, so you're only going to get in down here, because we go down there and that order would last, say, 3 days, or you just set it for a week, right? Or just walk away. But I think if you load it up like that super deep, I'm trading really close to the market. So, and I'm trying not to buy at the market right here, but this would be where the robot would place a buy stop, and a human would buy at the market right now. This on this 15-minute possible new grid that's forming. And then if the rollover is happening right now, coming into the first burst out of here, it's going to be this internal thing here. If not, it's going to be straight down like a rock, and you would project that down here like this. So you have this insanely steep possibility of down this stairway, tumble there, or you crawl back up this thing and it just gets to here, the sellers come in. It's, you know, so there's just two possible paths that it's going to go on, and you can kind of see how it usually goes. And then this, of course, is the big timestamp entry, is where this comes together in the future here. So you can always hang your, you can always put that time down and realize that how long that order is going to last. And it makes sense because you're going back to this, say, right? Or maybe you take this and give it a window of time from here to here, maybe, because this is where everything's going to come together. And here's the end of the day coming, and then you just got tomorrow left. So just for the moment, I'm long up into this because, you know, this is like, you know, and if it plunges down like crazy, I'll get stopped out of these hopefully, and it's going to tumble into an order bank, so I'll be flat the market as it slices through, if it's able to, if you project, say this style, right? So you're projecting, imagine this thing going down and this is going to be the future. So you're planning out the future in a way. If this comes up here and touches this channel, a lot of people are going to bail, right? A lot of scalpers are going to bail right there. Then it could come ripping back down. And if I get out here with some of my position and then sit there and let the rest go, because if this is going to be one of those auction days, and this is the 15-minute, what typically happens here is it will come near, sellers will come in, but it'll hesitate, and then it'll just go crushing north, right? It'll just going to go nuts, right? And it's going to go flying up into, maybe up into this last known contention point, right? Last known Bruce Jenner moment up here, right? Bottom, top, bam. So this is a 15-minute structure, and we come back up into that. A lot of people are going to get out. I'm going to let it go to that, and if when Yellen comes out, I mean, as soon as she steps up to the podium and everybody's like, she didn't even buy any new clothes. I mean, obviously the market's going to tank, right? So that's what I'm aiming at. Let me just, so I'm going to go pause and make some more crumpets. Yes, so I guess Yellen's going to come out here in about under 40 minutes, and we just broke this 15-minute stairway. If we close here, maybe we come back here for a buy and we start walking up this, or we're just going to, like I said, the sellers are coming in right here. So go ripping back off of this. A lot of selling people that want to sell right this pivot. So I'm just going to wait another, I guess I'm going to wait till the bottom of the hour, because I think we could possibly punch through. And I just put up some possible buy we get there by then kind of thing. So, okay, sellers are definitely coming in here, just because that's where the bottom dropped out. But doesn't mean, and then, so we could go smashing up to here, and then I'm trying to give, so I can plan out the rest of the day so I don't have to babysit all this drama. Give this thing possible places where I think it's going to ricochet off of. So I'm trying to lay track in front of the train, basically. Trains come down track, has no track, I'm laying track for it. Problem is, the train's going to run out of gas, or it's going to get stuck on the tracks, and then I got to, like, you know, get out of everything, wait for the next pause. But like if you had a volatility bot, right? Volatility bot paired with really good, you'd have to have 3 to 5 orders inside this robot that's going to go scalping some of it. It's going to have to be so smart it can see a top becoming a bottom. So I don't know if it's possible. Okay, I'm already ready to get out. I'm all ready to get out. I just we're spending too much time here, but 6 minutes, right? So I come back in 6 minutes. Here comes the 5-minute window before the bottom of the hour, and it looks like we might be able to hit this round handle where everything turned around. Coming up into the good old round numbers that everybody loves. 10 pips away from it. So yeah, it's really quite the up and downness of the day. And this is the 1 hour resistance. I'm looking to break this trend line here on the 1 hour. But I want to be in just as it's coming up into that, and this is be the where the floor dropped out earlier. And the scalpers came in, they rammed it up above, and so I'm just looking to build this 15-minute stairway, but I think it's time to scalp out of this thing. It looks like it's had it for the moment. Let's see, go the this is the half hour. Trying to get a perspective of when I might get there if I had the patience to sit in a half-hour channel. And here's a 15-minute. If I'm going to take this low back here and then speculate on the next cycle coming up. So we just broke that channel coming down maybe to here. I guess Yellen's come out, maybe pull back to this top, more people get aboard, and then we start walking up this stairway, or it's just going to be a blast straight up into this one. Just go boom right up into here. So but at least to give it a limit, give it a time limit, and just make if you're going to buy down here, the order's going to last longer because maybe it's going to come all the way down here and drift all the way back to here. So it's either going to slam or drift. It's only capable of two type of behaviors. Okay, here's the 15. Bottom of the hour's coming. So this could be the big turning point, and certainly on the half hours it's going to be maybe the next cycle. Well, it's kind of far out there. Can't really see it. Can't see enough rhythm here on this half hour, so it's not really. Okay, I'm going to come back to this. Well, I guess it's going to go up. So yeah, 15-minute chart. I guess if you don't have any patience, this is the way to go, because you definitely want to getting out as soon as it comes right under here. You want to get out. There's no way around it. You have to get out there on something. And then you could go short maybe in the next 15 minutes if it blasts through there. And I think it's just possibility of taking out the high of the day up here. So we just keep cutting through this thing, up, down, through this cat's cradle kind of thing, rig. But this is definitely in the next 1 minute. I'm thinking a lot of people are going to bail right here and get some follow through, maybe take us up into this. And definitely want to get back in here on the buy side. So if we come back here, I'm going to go with a scalp order right here and just do single drops. All right. So if you do like this with single drops, you'll do a lot better. If you're going to do shotgun method, you're going to kill, you might kill the burglar, but you just took out the dog, right? So, or the dog's blind now, or your chinchilla's blind or something. Okay, we're climaxing into this 15-minute. Bottom of the hour is coming. A lot of robots get the hell out or go the hell in on a 15. Of course, that was a big 15, so that's not a place to be thinking about putting a buy stop above or a sell stop below. It's a time to think about either taking profits or maybe sell at the market a little bit on that blast, or throw a limit in up here. When the market makes a hefty move like that, you could just throw limits above and below. And if you took something off the table there, you wait the next 15 minutes for the follow through, possibly as Yellen comes out to the podium. Maybe we go up another 5 pips by then. So I guess I'll wait for the Yellen to come out and make her argument for saving the world. So I got out where a lot of people got out there on the bottom there, and the robots came in and turned it on a dime there, or whoever, right? Humans, whatever. So I dumped out of that. I'm looking for it to come back into here. I'm going to re-enter the market here, and if it takes out this fractal, I'm going to get in retail style on this top. So I'm going to place a tight stop order, 8 pip stop here to make 13 right at the retest this, and then one down here, and then one in the middle ground here off of this price here. So if you consider that the market has a high probability of bouncing at least 13 pips off of that price, then you put an order there. And this way, if you've got, like here's a 15 pip stop. So if we cut all the way back into here, I will make 55 pip. I make 35 pips with a 15 pip stop on that one. And I also have this, we can also draw this line right now to give ourselves a landing area. And if this is last swing low, I'm going to move my timestamp over to that. I'm going to say, yeah, well, by then, of course, by then, Yellen will be speaking, right? So maybe we spike into this. So I'm prepared to buy this double top. 1, 2. And it's also a doji, a double doji here, because this is a inverted hammer. But if all you got to do is go to a half-hour chart and it's a doji, right? Here's a baby hammer, and this is anytime you see a lot of zigzags, it's a big deal. Same right here. So we're in that window right here, and the question is, are we going to? This is the moment of truth. Are we going to cut through this thing? One more slice back to here, and then go up that stairway, or are we going to be on a shallow stairway now that looks more like something like this? And if we copy that over, it's going to look like, yeah, maybe it's going to come, have to come back. So one way or the other, right? But definitely that was the scalp. For the moment, sellers came in here off of that, but since the market's getting quiet, the end of the day is coming, it's getting a little running out of gas, and so I did the same time projections here on the 30 minutes, swing lows only. So only swing lows, and here's the end of the day, right about here. So maybe we get we finish down into here. So I'd definitely be buying if we made it back to that. So I'd put in a, say a scalp first, just to get in on a little bounce. And then I would put in, say, a nice 30 pip bounce with a 10 pip stop, but a slightly different price. Same thing I would do right here. Put in a tight stop just below this window here, because we could come back. Of course, the half-hour chart, you need a little more patience. And the half-hour stairway is going to hopefully be this. If you're a bull, you hope it comes to a rest here beautifully, and then that's where we drift off shore and we go off on our escapades on the upside. We take out this long, boring down channel, and this baby gets to rock. Okay, Yellen's coming out 15 minutes, and we're getting this little baby pulled back, and I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, which looks like it could still tank some more. So I'm going to go to the 15-minute. This is the daily. So the daily's definitely got another, we could go down another 30 pips and really ricochet off this thing, the 108. Okay, the 5-minute chart just turned up a little bit. So, and here is the 15-minute stairway that we would be getting in here, but they're not pulling it back to fill us. So I put my orders here, right there for the pick me up at the station, and I'm going to put a 20 pip stop on this one, and a 50 pip take profit, because I think maybe I missed it. And then I'll do the same here. I'll put in a 20 pip stop on this with a 50 pip take profit, because we can always count on this trade where we take out this thing, we come all the way back, and then some a little bit. We can always count on the retrace trade. So we're coming into this delta now, and I'm like, Yellen's going to come out here in 10 minutes. It looks like we could blast up, but maybe first come down and pick me up on these guys Fill me on that. Or just slice straight down. I guess you can see the possibility that we could just go, I guess you'd need to have a stairway for that idea of it slicing down, right? It would look like maybe boom, right to there as soon as she starts talking, right? So we could just go like this and be like boom, and then, you know, or just, you know, she says that she's raising interest rates in the next 20 minutes, right? And it's just like boom, down, down, you know. Okay, so, but for the moment, I think it's going to be more like a bounce off of this price, just pure price wise without the trend line. But this is the trend line to break on the downside, and on the upside, I'd say the triangle is always in the process of forming, I guess. You know, consolidation and explosion. All right, well, let's see what happens. Come back top of the hour. See if I can't get picked up on these tight order entries like this. Actually, I'm going to go down into here where it's like the land beyond. And if the order lasts out here, if you time stamped it out here, it would be this price by then. So you're speculating that this, it's going to hold this line. Oh, this would be the midline. Maybe this is the top of the channel, but you're going to come down into this. I don't know. Looks like it's kind of right in fair value right now. It's right in the diamond. Okay, so come back here in 11 minutes. All right, 5 minutes to showtime here, and we've pulled back to this possible staircase we're building to the upside. After the scalpers came in, sold that top, or the sellers decide they're going to get short because they think it's going to plunge through. So I bought here on some pendings that, see, now these didn't get filled. So I had to buy on, I had put a buy stop above this because they're not going to, they won't come back and fill me, but this one will make 50 pips. So I still put some big winners in here, but I also have scalps in here. So I tried to give myself the widest spectrum of orders. And same thing here. I haven't written actually any giant ones, but I'm going to put in a risk 20 to make 50. Let me just rewrite this thing real quick before she comes out with this news. So in the single drop world, you always want to take any of those single drops and save as, and put an outlandish take profit on here of like say 80 pips. 20 pips to make 80 pips, or 20 to make 80 in 8 hours, and I'm going to make this save it as and now edit it here. So you match the name of it and then just compile. It's going to give you warnings, but it's, I haven't worried about editing out this stuff, but it'll give you warnings, but it still compiles. Now you got to go hunt this script down in the order bank and looking for the 20 to make 80 and put it in the favorites list here. Can't even find it. Go look for this thing. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to put this add to favorites, and now I'm going to put it in the market. So I'm going to put it at the top of this fractal. A lot of people trade like this, don't forget. And I'm going to put it right here. So if we ricochet back before we go up, but yeah, looking at 80 pips, right? If we keep going up, that's going to just turn into a market order. I can't remember this broker, how tight I can put the orders in. If you go to trading, new order, and then go to set this to pending, then you can just see 0 pips. So I can trade inside the spread here. So I'm literally going to put in orders risk 20 to make 80 right now. But then the yellow's going to come out, and then I'm going to put some scalps in. I'm going to put in like risk How about risk maybe 15 to make 30? And then put some down here in Disneyland. Okay, she's going to come out with this nonsense. In 2 minutes, right? She's just going to start talking. It's so stupid. Like, I mean, it's funny how the market can kind of see it coming, and the market gets really quiet at fair value, and everybody's like, okay, now what? So we're right in the apex of the triangle, coming into the news. I'd say we've broken this trend line already, so maybe this is going to be the launching pad to go up. Or if this stays in force, then we're going to go down. Okay, well, 1 minute. So that's we're right at the line of scrimmage horizontally. Plus, we're at the timing of the market. If you build an envelope there real quick, and there's my projection for the downside, and then here's the so we're caught in this little thing here. So here's a do and die moment. 1 minute. So maybe it blasts up, maybe it rips back. It doesn't. I guess I don't care which way it gets out of the station. This morning, we went up and we trapped the or whatever here. We trapped there and slammed back down. So here's the head and shoulders. I kind of built this channel off this shoulder. This is the head. That's the shoulder. Built that out in the future. Okay, 15 seconds till the as if she's gonna be on time. I don't get. Did they actually turn on the mics? I don't see this stuff happen. They actually go, okay. The guy brings up the fader. Okay, yelling, steps to the microphone. Okay, she's talking right now. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Anyways, I'll come back after her speech, see what happens. It's like market's just completely frozen. Now, I have to wait for her to say something, I guess. Okay, they pulled it back and filled me on some of these orders, so just touching this 15-minute channel here. I mean, this 30-minute channel line and the 15. So we're all synced up here. Look how they come down into this, right? So we stepped through this 15. We just broke that 15. Walking down into here possibly. Come all the way back down to here. So possible retest, pull back into this retest zone. So I put a lot of orders down here, looking to capture that momentary lapse of reason. And I put some timestamps in here. I'm just going to make these black vertical. So I'm going to move this up. If this is the current rhythm right here, this 15, then the next 15 is going to be, and the next swing low or swing high put out here. All right, so I could see this thing coming all the way down into here to get in long. So they're filling me up on these, and I got filled on some of this. We just got a blast there, so I picked up some of these orders. This one, we're starting to walk down the half hour windowed into this triangle right now. Looking for the maybe touch that, kiss off this channel before it goes up, or we're just going to keep going down this because we're breaking that right now on the half hour. And the 15-minute just took out this support here. So if you sold on a stop here on this small bar, or you sold up into that climax where the sellers came in up there. We were only up there for a moment, but like I said, the sellers come in up on that top. Right here on this top. So a lot of people got short right there for the comeback to this. So if we can go cutting through here, touch this thing, I'll be buying into that. because I don't know what Yellen said, but I have no idea what she said. But there's the 15-minute pivot where the sellers would come in. Here's the... So we're just waiting for it all to happen, I guess. This big pivot. Yeah. Pretty boring. Here's another point in time. We might take another 15 minutes to get down into this, right where this intersection is. And if you go to the left, it's going to be down here. They'll probably stop out these people, but it'll be coming back to this pivot here. So if you can imagine a walk down to there and turn around. But it could be done here. This is kind of drifting now, but I'm definitely getting in here at this doji zone. So I'm loaded up now. We just have to wait to see how the rest of the day plays out. Maybe the stock market starts to crash. Let's face it, the news sucks every day. They come out with it. And the euro is down at the bottom of this here's the 5-minute trend line to break. Trying to break this thing right now. I guess you could make the argument that you already broke it here. So now you can almost build the Gann fan off this 5-minute right now. But yeah, I like buying this where all the zigzag stuff's at. Alright, we'll just wait. Bond market's going to close here in like 37 minutes, so I figure it's going to be a bum rush. People are going to dump the dollar like it's a hot potato. And I don't know why this trend line is not right, but it should be like this. Kind of shifted on me. Should be like that. Right, this is the envelope. Yeah, so trend line to break is this one now. I think it's itching to break it, even though we stepped outside of the window of this. Maybe that means we're on an envelope here. Kind of a zone envelope. Okay, let's see what happens. I must say, I think it's gonna go up this thing now. Alright, bond market's gonna close here in about 15 minutes. So we just kind of stepped outside this 15-minute thing. We walked down and still going into this other one. But as far as horizontally speaking, we're still holding this horizontal price here, the support entry window. Just listening to this webinar, guy hit 100 period moving average. He said doesn't always work. And then he contradicted himself by finishing off the webinar saying, you got to keep it simple, stupid, right, Kiss? Got to keep it simple, stupid. I didn't want to chat into his, it was like some kind of go-to-meeting webinar. And I just, I about fell over when he said 100 period moving average, 100 hour moving average. It's a 1 hour chart. He was showing an entry. I thought, well, that's nice. And he did say, yeah, this part here is kind of tough. It didn't work there. Okay, I guess I don't know Yellen I don't know what she said, but I guess the euro didn't like it. We'll come back at 3 o'clock and maybe this thing busts this trend line here. By the time 3 o'clock come. I got my little Gann fan on the 5-minute here I built. Manually built. Looking to break this wedge here. So you could say we broke out on this one, pulled back, kind of found support. So I like to say kind of like and you can see more zigzags here on the 5-minute that go back to this wonderful spike bottom. So we're just skipping along here, trying to get, trying to break that. I guess if that becomes the new channel, then it's going to be a pretty shallow channel. I guess we could figure this to be the inside here, this bottom with this major top, or we just spill out and keep falling down here. But kind of push come to shove here at the end of the top of the hour, I'm expecting at least a spike up to the previous place where all the sellers came in on that 15 up in here. Right, they just came in like mad right there. Bam, ripped it back. So yeah, let me put that 100 period moving average up here to see where I'm at. See if I should take these trades. Okay, moving average. I go. I think I'm gonna go aqua. Now let me go dark orange. And I set this at 100. I think he was using, I'm going to say exponential. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. I should be short. Oof. Okay, I guess this was his entry here. Let's see how that works. I got to go to that. But he was using the hourly chart, so maybe that's where I'm screwing up. Okay, there was my sell. And here was my sell. Let me see how that worked out. Alright, there was your sell there, right? There was a sell. That's a problem. This is also a big problem. All this up in here is untouchable. But yeah, worked out here, worked out there. Kind of get your, oh, guess got a top bottom there, right? Came back, found support, but then didn't find support here so much. Ouch. I guess no matter way you slice it, you gotta have stops. Alrighty then. Let's go for the 5 minute. Okay, so that was your scalp there. That was your scalp. I could also do an envelope, right? Don't forget that trick. But then you have to adjust the envelope. I've tried it all. Yeah, I put some Bollinger Bands in there, right? But then, how do you use them? Like, how do you even take a trade off that stuff? I always wondered. I'm just gonna go with the market's quiet and anything could happen. This way, I don't rely. If I had to, and that guy actually said, "You want to look at that moving average?" I just thought, boy, as soon as you look at that, you know, forget about it. You're out the window, right? You're dead. You know, because really, you want to know how tight your stop should be. Right now, since the market's so quiet, in this 5 minute, we could go either way. So we had this node here, we got this node right now. So we're either going to plunge through the floor here and just go streaking down. And then the question is, would you buy down there if it went down there? And I think I already put some orders in down there, but if I didn't, I'd say I just canvas it like that. I guess this would be it, right? I'd just be done with it. Just walk away. Certainly if you come down there, you want to buy. I think that's a no-brainer. And we're sitting right at the triangle right now. Okay, this top of the hour is coming. And that's the trend line to break. And this is the one that's just been broken. So I guess the sellers coming in here, but they could be trapped. And ultimately I would buy on a retest of that. So I'll just come back to this euro dollar. 3 o'clock's come and gone. And I just got filled on some of these orders where I'm trying to pick up this where the stops are. So that's my big high risk entry there. Put some. I got this risk 20 to make 80 here, and risk 8 to make 13. I'm gonna put one there. Then I'll put a risk 20 to make 80. Risk 20 to make 55, and risk 20 to make 55. So we gotta get the party started here. So I'm just going to load up on this puppy. I'm going to risk 15 and make 50. Same thing down here. If we smash down, blow out that bank, risk 10 to make 30. Risk 10 to make 30. All right, so we fell out of this this thing, and we're walking down this this wedge now. All right, end of the day is coming. That's the end of the day. This dotted line. So I think it's just I think it's all about the horizontal price right now in this trend line. That's the trend line to break. So we're going to load up here, buy at the market. This is the current trend line to break. Don't want to be in before it breaks. So I'm just going to buy at the market and sit back and let them break it. Okay, so it's been a few hours, and we're finally breaking this trend line here. So we drifted sideways. I stayed long in this thing. We totally went sideways. This whole channel in this 15 is completely broken down. So we did walk down to here. We ricocheted off this key support. And now here comes, I think it's been about 6 hours since I last recorded this. Oh yeah, we're going into the Yellen. So it's been 6 hours since Yellen, and she wasn't yelling too much. I guess she wasn't yelling about raising interest rates. So there's a bunch of kind of subtle little tops and bottoms inside here. I still got the half-hour chart running, I think. So I gotta switch this. This is here's the half-hour chart. I just go to the 1 hour since the market is, when it's quiet like this, you really can only see the 1 hour as being valid. So we're breaking this trend line right now on the 1 hour, and I'm still long. And here's all my exits for profit, and there's all my stops down here, and here's the this is the 15-minute. Here's the 4 hour. If I put the here's the 15-minute thing that I built earlier. So we definitely walked out of this. We walked out of this channel here. So maybe we drift up and get to my target up here. I'm hoping there's a big slice up, and then maybe I get back in on the pullback into this bottom zone. But yeah, this is how it is. It's just kind of a real boring way to make money. Of course, after that, all this drama here, this is going to be the exit again, up in this price, and here's the daily. Looks like the daily's looks like we're due for a retrace tonight. Anyways, that's my big exciting plan, is to stay along the euro here through the drama. And I guess gold did tank, so I guess I was right the first time. Gold came out of this triangle. I drew a trend line on the wicks here for people that trade the wicks on the trend line. But the painfully obviously triangles. We got this structure break. This trend line breaks, then it finds resistance there, and then you got this amazing, just a support in time. That's 4 hour gold, and you had this triple bottom that was taken out. All the wick, all the normal people that draw trend lines are gonna, I guess, draw it like here or something. I don't know. See, this filters out all that. I don't know. I don't know why people just don't do it the easy way, but So yeah, it looks like gold could take another tumble possibly, because now it's just melting down. Oh, sorry, it's not exactly. Current price isn't showing here, so I kind of move the chart off the screen. But you have to trust me, I wouldn't lie about gold. Let's move it over here. See if I can move this chart. Apparently not. Yeah, that's silver there. Silver's tanking too. Okay, let me just move the whole platform over. But yeah, gold's tumbling. Just falling into a big abyss here. It looks like the bottom could drop out for sure. I guess that would be a certain... That'd be pretty tough for these gold bulls. Like I said before, you know, these gold bulls, they got it hard. They got a hard life. They're getting their ass kicked here. There's daily. Just going down hard. Going down the stairway here on the daily. Of course, they don't last forever, but the problem is here is the weekly. This is the big abyss here. Fall right through the floor and just keep tanking. Don't forget the monthly. It's pretty much a free fall. I guess we could do a dead cat bounce off of this. 11.27, and then it's just going to be like, see ya, bye. I don't think it's going to stop till it gets back to 950-ish, 970. Okay, I'm riding this thing through the Asian session north up into this. This is the painful sideways movement that nobody likes because it's just not making no money. But this is a triple bottom here. That's the 15-minute. There's the double bottom held support. If you go to the half hour, it's like a, this would be the head. You know, if you want to do it like that, right? This is going to be, this is the head, shoulder, bada bing. Of course, I'm going to be cashing out here on some of this stuff, and it's like one of those saucer bottoms. Yeah, so you should be able to draw your own moving averages. And then the 100-day moving average is up there. Alrighty then, well that's at least that's the way I see it. So we're just gonna ride out the storm. Coming back to here. And there you go. Bada bing.